Okay, welcome everybody to where are we at? Week
Five.
5 of season 16 of the CMSA League of Legends. Welcome everybody. Tonight I'm just thrilled we're going to be following the Ruby League. So right in the middle of all of our leagues, that's what we're following tonight. We've got, it's so exciting. We're following two teams, but before we get to that, let me just introduce myself and who I'm with. I'm Sam VC. I've been around this community for a while now, to say the least. Here most weeks, and with me this week, once again, welcome back, John. Hello.
Hello.
So tonight we've got a couple teams that we'll be watching out first. We've got Zwan Zaddies, and they will. Who are they taking on, John?
They're taking on Yordle
The
Yasqueen.
Yordle Yas Queens. That'll be game number one. It'll be choose your own adventure. We will follow whichever team wins match number one. Just to add a little bit of tension here to everything that's happening. John, so before we get going, what can you tell me about some of these players? You know any of them?
I've seen Jules multiple times in
Oh,
the invitational, either as a caster or as a player, I believe. And Tender Kitty, another well-known name here. Queen of Despair actually played in Pearl for a few seasons, so I definitely remember them. R5 Ben and R5 The Dose. You know them better than I do, but I've played with them a couple times now. Lick and Stick, I've seen a few times on stream and played with them maybe a couple times. Um, but the others, Bingleton, Maxie's World, Dripper, and Taylor W are new names to me.
Maxie's World. That's an old name to me. Welcome back, Maxie's World. I haven't seen you for so many seasons. I know you've subbed from now and again, so I'm glad. I'm looking at the stats now. It looks like you've been here. I don't know if you're subbing or not, but been here every week. That's awesome to have a returning face to the league. Welcome back. Very cool. Yeah, so many names that have been on the Invitational that have been showcased before. So this is gonna be a great first match of the night. Uh, Also, if you're listening, I know this was in the announcements, but it bears repeating. Uh, Big event that we've got coming up. C2E2, April 11th to 13th. We CMSA Esports is going to be running the Pride Lounge yet again this year. Last year it was so much fun, such a great success. This year we are hoping to make it better than ever, but we can't do that without your help. So first off, if we'd love to just have you come by, stop by the lounge, or but also to volunteer. If you're in Chicago, or as you should be planning to be in Chicago for that weekend, you can get your tickets now. And I just looked on the website, and actually, according to the website, the prices for general admission go up at midnight tonight. So don't sleep on that. Get your discount ticket. But if you're looking for a truly discount ticket, and you want to get in for free, you can just volunteer with us. CMSA Esports, we'd love to have your help. It'll get you in the door. And on top of that, you get to hang out with some amazing people. I'll be there. John, you'll be there, right?
I will,
Oh,
yes. Planning
incredible.
on coming for at least a week, so I'll be able to hang out outside of C2E2 as well.
Oh, last year we had so much fun, and I'm looking forward for it to the entertainment again, but also just seeing everyone yet again. It's going to be a really cool event. Additionally, this Friday at the North End, not at 6 p.m. and not at 8 p.m., but at 7 p.m. at the North End, we've got our CMSA esports meetup. There'll be pizza there. There'll be a raffle. I hear there'll be laughter, although some people at the League of Legends part of it will not have expressed that they will not be laughing if they can help it. So But regardless, if you're in town, I'd love to see you there. All right, it looks like all ten of our participants have loaded up, so hopefully we'll be in draft any second now. I'm so excited for this week. I'm so excited for this week. As you said, I have two of my I have two good friends that are on these teams. I honestly was hoping that they would not be on the same team today with R5. Oh, it looks like you said the dose, but our dose is not here. R5 Ben though
It
is.
Yes, it seems as if he has not shown up, so they've got
Oh,
Jabbers as a substitute.
what a what a great way to represent. As I'm just like sitting here calling you out. Sorry, Dose. My apologies. Uh, well, at least we will. At least I get to see one of my good friends and another former friend, apparently no longer on the stream. Okay, so we jump into Champion Select. Here we go.
Would you mind going live on Discord?
Oh yes, of course. Thank you for the reminder.
Thank you, thank you.
Let me
Ooh,
pull.
Ari for Tender Kitty. Classic.
This is a matchup I feel like that both Tender Kitty and R5 Ben have experienced a lot when during the mini tournament we got to play against one another, and that was the mid
Oh
lane
yeah.
matchup. And then I think it's happened already in 2 out of the 5 weeks where they've faced off in the mid lane against one another. So they're getting to learn the champion pools quite intimately of one another. So we'll see. So it's very curious how that kind of back and forth is going to go. All right, I'm hopefully now you can see that. We've got Ariban, Yorick, and Misfortune. They're targeted at Maxie's World, one of Maxie's World's favorites like favorite ADCs to play, but also Misfortune just ridiculously powerful. Last I checked, Misfortune had one of the highest win rates in all of League of Legends right now, so definitely a good
Mm,
band to kick. Both taking off a strong pick in the meta and a comfort pick away from Maxie's World, but Maxie's World has a deep pool as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see them kind of pick whatever is going to be good with the team.
yes, and you know, I played a game with Jules earlier today, and they were playing a York, and they mentioned about playing a lot of York jungle, so that definitely looks like a York aimed at Jules in the jungle.
Oh, so they're figuring out the scout right away then with the intel as I'm trying to kind of look this up. But yeah, the Yes Queen's getting that Yorick band away, and there is a Kaisa, very comfortable pick for Maxie's World on the ADC. Can struggle into a Caitlyn, but we'll see how that's piloted. Definitely a matchup that Maxie's World is going to have a lot of experience into. And then a Mel. Oh, I love seeing Mel early on here in the draft. Kingo's support, more than likely though, just picked as just a strong pickup for that mid lane.
It seems Mr. Raccoon in the chat is saying we don't have game audio.
No game audio. All right, I'll try my best to fix that here. One moment. I mean,
Mm,
you're just missing the clicks and the the champion exclamations whenever they lock in. But that's such a vital part of the process. Let me see if I can get it repaired here.
You know, Cinder I've heard it's a good pick into Mel because you can't block her Qs with the reflect. Although I imagine Mel pretty safely outranges Syndra, other than her QE.
Yeah, and honestly, I'll be surprised if R5 Ben has had a lot of experience with that matchup, specifically the Syndra versus Mel matchup. But now that I see a Lilia locked in, that's another kind of tender kitty especial. So could be the mid lane, or it could maybe signal that Tender Kitty will not be actually in the mid lane. Okay, it has been known to play elsewhere from time to time.
That's true, and I do believe Lilia is a champion for both Jules and Tender Kitty. And I've seen Tender Kitty play it in mid lane too, but also in jungle, so that could it's a very flexible Lilia right there.
Okay, it should
Boss,
have.
I don't need more enemies.
Okay, hopefully chat could hear that Senna doesn't need more enemies as as they got banned. Perfect.
Ooh, the Morgana for Lick and Stick. I do believe that's Chabber on the Caitlyn.
As you wish.
Ooh, double ban against Lick and Stick on support. What are your thoughts on Hui and his 10 billion attacks? That's a question for you, Sam.
I see you
The
lack
way and 10 billion attacks, I have not committed any of them to memory, so I I think that I prefer not to be blown up from completely off screen. So that's sort of how I feel about Hui. Although I think he's a really good champion. At first, I thought it was BS having like a Xerath range on like seemingly every one of his abilities. But now that I've played against him a lot, I think I can kind of figure out a little bit how to deal with him. It's kind of that artillery mage that he is.
Yes. Ooh, a Nocturne and a Kaisa. So that's two dive champions right there. They don't have any frontline on the side of who is this? Yordle
Yordle
Yask?
Yas Queens.
Yes. And there's between Vladimir, Nautilus, and Sejuani, that's a lot of health.
Okay, so they are locked in here on the side of Zwan Zaddies. You got a Caitlyn Nautilus in the bot lane. A little bit, a lot of CC there. Certainly can be very, very scary. And I do think this is going to be a Mel support on the side of the Yordle Yas Queens. Here's how I see it. Tell me if you think it's different. I think it is a Lilia mid here on Tender Kitty with a Kaisa Mel in the bot lane and Nocturne jungle, Shen
Uh,
top. That's how I read it. Now, it could just as easily be something else, but that is how I'm calling it right now.
I would agree with you. The only other way I could see it is Shen support, Mel mid, Nocturne jungle, and Lilia top. But
Which certainly could
I
also
don't see this.
happen.
Yes, but I
Now,
don't know the. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead, finish your thought.
I don't know the enemy or the Yordle Yasqueen's top laner well enough to know about Lilia top technology.
Yeah, not
But
few do, few do besides Tender Kitty here. One of the things that I'm noticing is you've got Vladimir for R5 Ben with Lippenstick on Syndra. So Lippenstick not playing that
ooh,
support role. Instead, that's going over to Dripper, and I think that's then pushing R5 Ben up to the top lane on a Vladimir that he does have a lot of experience on. So, well, I'm excited to see this and taking on kind of the new champ on the block in Mel. So you asked me how I feel about Hui. How do you feel about Mel?
hmm. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on stream. The Mel is definitely a polarizing champion since release, where she originally people saw her and thought, she's not that bad, no dashes. Then they saw her reflect and they're like, oh, that's a little worrying. But really it's not even the reflect, it's more just the Q range. The Q specifically is so powerful with its range and the fact that it's almost undodgeable with how fast the projectile starts. And it's kind of like a Morgana W in a sense where you really just have to like run out of it. But if you have a Arcane Comet, you're pretty much guaranteed to always be able to proc it with just walking up and queuing their enemy ADC. Which now that I think about it, Mage's support is something I do remember from Queen of Despair. She played a lot, or they played a lot of Lux, and their Lux was very good. And I see Mel has a lot of um the firepower that Lux has, with slightly less supportive attributes in the shielding, but you can still just walk in front of your ADC to block things, which is nice. But the poke from Mel is just like so so oppressive with how far you can do it and with how safely you can do it, because you can walk away and it'll still be hitting them. So I don't know what your thoughts are, but I'm all for Mel nerfs in the future.
I'm all for giving Mel a little bit more time to have people figure out how to play against her. I like this matchup. If assuming it's going to be Mel versus Nautilus, which I'll hold for 1 second because it might not be Mel Nautilus. So we'll see in a moment as it loads up here. So let me. There we go. Okay, so as we're looking here, we've got. Is it Mel Nautilus?
I do believe it
It
is. This Lilia has
looks.
teleport.
Figgleton has the TP, so yeah, it looks like that's going to be Mel and Nautilus there in the bot lane. So, like, Nautilus can throw that hook, and what's Mel going to do? Reflect it and yoink herself to the Nautilus? I'm not sure that's going to be terribly helpful.
It's definitely something that I've not seen myself. I've only seen clips of it. Because whenever my teammates hover Mel, I always try and ban something like Leona, because I think Leona E is one of the best counters because it puts you on top of the enemy support and it completely removes you like a Blitzcrank Q would.
So everyone just taking kind of a 5-point across the map right now.
Who do you believe has advantages in each lane? In top lane, I would say Shen loses in the 1v1, but Vladimir has no way to stop his ult, so that is one thing to keep aware of.
Yeah, definitely true. I think I give that kind of the pushing edge here to Vladimir. I'll definitely in the jungle. I think Nocturne's gonna have an edge. Certainly in the 1v1, but again, Vlad should have push. I've seen so much of this Lilia mid from Tender Kitty. If you're viewing a stream and have never seen this is a treat. Lilia almost exclusively a jungle champ, and Tender Kitty has just found a way to make it work and be completely obnoxious in the mid lane.
Now, I can see being able to play Lilia into melee champions, but being able to play it into ranged champions is a whole nother level of skill. There's the poke from the Mel.
Oh, and Figgleton already finding a good trade onto R5 Ben there. This is not Ben's primary lane, much preferring to play out of the mid lane. But among my group, he's kind of known as Mr. Fundamental, so should be okay wherever he's at.
I did have the privilege to watch him stream one of his games in Discord, and he did that. He's very good at like checking maps that I cannot do, where you press like what F
The camera
the F key.
keys.
Yeah, I can't do that. Mostly because my keyboard doesn't have them. But you know, even when it did,
You can rebind them. You can rebind them. I use my old StarCraft key bindings to whip around the map like that.
true.
Okay, so junglers are completing their clears now. They have passed kind of an opposite sides of the map, so we'll see what happens. The Zwanzaddies have full knowledge of this. No pings yet. They're starting to move back now, so they're calling for the ping for Figgleton.
Looks like a crab trade.
Yeah, they just are going to trade. Nothing happening quite yet. Lippenstick finds Jules right away with that ward. Vigilant coverage from the Zaddies.
The
Jules-
vision on the junglers. Oh, sorry.
It has been good. Jules was trying again, but they did have that ward, so nothing doing as they just are playing safe and get pushed in here by Queen of Despair and Maxie's World.
Looks like Figgleton's ward on top lane saw Travis as well, so they know he's probably reset by now.
And no one wanting to give up that first blood early here.
Now, what is your opinion on bringing back First Blood Gold, now that First Blood doesn't actually mean anything?
I mean, we can bring it back. I'm fine with a little extra here in the for just as a reward for trying to fight.
I definitely think it would be more spicy. Ooh. Okay.
Going in here onto the bot lane. Dripper finds something. You can see in the top. Will they find... Oh, they don't find R5
Ooh.
Ben. Jules was poaching him. I didn't want to click away because I thought something would develop here in the bot lane with Dripper finding their way onto Maxie's world. But like I said, R5 Ben certainly knows when his back timings are, so won't give that one away. Now here's Lippenstick, just putting it to Luigi's Kitty, trying to score some extra poke, but Luigi's Kitty will just have to take a base. Does have teleport available, has not shaft yet.
Down in HP, but up in farm and presses from the Lilia into a ranged matchup.
Yeah, probably bodes real well for Luigi's Kitty. You would expect that that would be Lilia's weakest part, is that early on, before you can actually do a whole lot. So Lilia's only getting faster. Look at that. Right away. Merc shreds some boot spot for the mid laner here.
Merc trade with the full AP top side, a very good decision. Especially with that Sejuani always looming in shadows.
So starting off, the first objective will be claimed here for Zwanzaddies. Now, Luigi's Kitty is going to come and check here. Tender moving up. Ben will say no. I've seen you before. All three grubs go to Zwanzaddies, so they start the first of the feats here. But no feats claimed yet. Very patient gameplay from both teams. And now that the level 6s and the first backs are happening, I'll be curious if there's any more fighting that's going to start happening. Really good farm here coming out of the side of Yordle Yas Queens. All their laners were able to kind of out-sustain onto the map, get a good base in early. And they'll do their due diligence, claim this dragon. I imagine the back lane here from Yordle Yas Queens will take a base, buy some items on that Kaisa. Luigi's Kitty going right into Lippenstick here at level 7. Drowsy goes by, flashing away. Luigi's Kitty going to try for it. They're full on diving, and that is going to be first blood courtesy of Jules.
Very good look for Luigi's Kitty. That ult, now that you have ult, you just have so much kill pressure into Cinder, who's pretty immobile. Now Now doesn't even have flash, so it definitely has to play a lot safer now.
Yeah, not something you're used to having in your mental stack. You gotta constantly be aware of that little bloom from Lilia, because if it ever connects, you are probably going down. This also bodes really well for a Nocturne, who that's a champion that the goal should be every time that ultimate is up, you should be inciting paranoia on the map and scoring a kill for yourself. And those good games that snowball as Nocturne, it's just one kill with paranoia after another.
Yeah.
Max's World now going in the bot lane. They call for Shen, who comes right through. And now Dripper is also going to fall. They have more than enough burst to get through with that Kaisa using that passive of hers to get through. So all 3 kills of the first 3 kills and the feat now claimed for Yordle Yasqueens.
And Shen TP's right back up to top lane. Nocturne loves game into a Syndra with no flash, no mobility.
Kitty getting stunned, immediately chained by Chabber, who now has an ultimate of his own. Luigi's Kitty. Tender there, forced to flash away, but does preserve their life.
Already getting use out of those mark treads. Mel is the newest champion, yes, that is correct. One of the arcane champions added, along with Ambessa previously.
I need to resume watching Arcane. I started watching Season 1 actually over the holiday, and then didn't manage to work my way all the way through it, and then work resumed. Need to find some time to continue it. It is very good.
It's probably one of my favorite shows of all time. Definitely just like not a single thing I can complain about with it, really. It's exactly what you want from a show.
Oh, Queen of Despair rooting themselves back into the Nautilus. Taylor following up with a trap. Will use the ultimate. Not gonna matter though. They're trying to get Maxie's World. The shield comes out. He'll stay alive. And Dripper will have to flash. But instead, Maxie's World, it flashes as well and comes out 1-for-1 there. But you'll take that all day. The ADC is down for Zwan Zaddies. But on the other side of the map here, they have found that they were trying to take too many Void Grubs. They said, oh no, now they've turned on Jules. One of them was claimed. So they'll get up to 5 here, and Void Grubs will be taken. So 5 Void Grubs to 1. But now that doesn't count as the second feat, correct? They didn't get all 3, so still only one objective claimed apiece for these 2 teams.
That is correct. And seems as if Yordle Yasqueen already has the kills for the combat feat. So now it's on turret and the next 2 objectives.
Also, the first item completions are getting done for these 2 teams. You can see the Luden's Companion and Collector done for the carries of Zwan Zaddies. On the opposite side, though, you're seeing an Experimental Hexplate and a Kraken Slayer, and the Experimental Hexplate on Nocturne here, who has made his Jules making the way into the bot lane. They've baited this in nicely. They didn't know a Nocturne was here. Maxie's World did fall low, though. Oh, the 90 caliber net goes wide. Stand United coming in. There's 4 committed to the bot lane. They don't have anything. Will they call for this dive? Duskbringer hits. I thought they'd go for more, but now Chabber and Lippenstick are here to support the bot lane. So 4 members from both sides kind of committed here. They have started up this dragon. All 5 from Yordle's Yasqueens. They want this. Paranoia comes down. That's diving onto the back line. It's looking to be a massacre here. Luigi's Kitty getting a big lilting lullaby. 2 kills already. We'll try to pursue. Flip and Stick will just sidestep there. But a big win there for Yodel's Yas Queens, as they will be able to easily pick up the dragon on top of that team fight win. The only small consolation here was your Vladimir that got a couple plates and a lot of just free farm. Up 30 now on this Shen. Oh, as soon as I look away though, Flip and Stick gets a little too close, and Max's World Queen of Despair take him out. 8-1 in terms of kills now for Yordle Yas Queens.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Yordle Yasquin's doing great for grouping up at objectives and fighting as a team. And they're using their advantage in items very well. Now everyone has, almost everyone has their item. All the carries have theirs. I'm sure this Mel has, it looks like they're building Storm Surge first item. I'm sure they have enough gold once they base, as I've seen them get quite a few kills.
And these Merc Treads already paying off royally for Tender here. Trying to escape, Chabber will just go over that wall and prance away. And actually looking for a return kill off to Syndra. Cannot be sleeping, but they're trying to catch R5 Ben sleeping. I think he knows something's up based on that positioning, immediately running away. Even Jules wondering how in the world Vladimir sniffed that one out, using the sweeper, confirming nope, there's no vision. Just reading the body language here of the top laner. So blue band steals some camps away. Chabber will probably not be too happy to see his blue gone, or their blue gone here. Jules still in the area. Fingleton, where are you going? Oh, to pick up that red buff, okay.
Small CS leads in all lanes except for top lane, it seems, for Yordle Yasquin. It's really hard to get a Vladimir out of a lane, as they have infinite mana and seemingly infinite sustain. But it does seem like he's back this time. It's hard to push. Looks like all towers are still up though, so if they can get the next 2 objectives and then a tower, Don Zadis can get the defeat still. Ooh.
Like every time there's a flash, it's Sand United coming through, which will force the flash out of Sejuani. Chabber flashing away, but that's another Sand United, and that means that you're going to hemorrhage another few creep or force the teleport. So using those 2 skills together very well. And man, Maxie's World and Queen of Despair now, they're just able to outpoke this Caitlyn. It's way too late in the lane. Look at that. Death charge used onto that Caitlyn, who's trying to get away from it. Taylor, though, just cannot follow this up. Instead, it's going to be Maxie's World turning around with that killer instinct to go right in and claim the low HP Caitlyn. Dripper had the engage turned completely around. And you're talking about neutral objectives, and this would be number 3. The Yordle Yasqueen's trying to take it. But Swan Swaddies does not want to give this up without a fight. They're going to be first to move, bringing on their top laner. No Stand United available. Kitty face checking into this Vladimir. They're going to go right onto the Vlad, but he's going to have that pool. Hemoplague hitting 3. There's going to be a lot of damage coming down. Luigi's Kitty falling low, Figgled into the backline, trying to get down this Syndra. Everyone scattering and no one dying here. Fingleton trying to get away. Meanwhile, will claim that one is for Chabber. Ben getting away from Jules and Kitty, though, means that this neutral objective still on the table for these teams. Chabber now here at low HP. They know about Jules in this rush, gonna jump right in. Chabber trying to claim another. Jules flashing over. Tender trying to buy space. and will help that jungler get away. Definitely the bright spot of the map here for Zwan. Zaddy's having managed to win most of the little engages in the bot lane, but the bot side of the map has been huge for Yordle Yasqueens. You have a CS lead over a Caitlyn. That's always a victory, but look at that. 2 complete items now for Maxie's World.
That is a scary Kaisa. 1 item away from their spike.
Yeah, and they've now brought this scary Kaisa up. But Lippenstick will find them first, taking a big chunk out of Maxie's World. Chabber going in, finding the stun. Are they going to find the shutdown? Forced to flash away, does have a plant available. Not going to use it, though. But now the carries are low. Lippenstick finds a double stun through the fog of war. Shutdown onto Jules. Ben can't quite clean up Maxie's World. And now they brought up the ADC. They were trying to trade with their mid laner, but it won't matter. But they're not going to be able to start Rift Herald yet, so they're still a little tentative about that one. Probably not as much emphasis on it because they did claim the boots here when this tower fell. So.
Oh yeah. Lucky for the Rift Herald, I suppose. Constantly attacked, but never killed.
Luigi's Kitty once again getting engaged on and once again turning it on its head. Stand United now finally used. Queen of Despair was there for that execute.
Great flash out of the metal.
And now the 3rd dragon's going up, and this has been controlled so strongly by Queen of Despair. They brought down Ben. It's a full-on 5v5, but there is 1 member already dead. Paranoia used, but there's no engage here from Jules, just instead kind of forcing the other team off. They're on to this dragon. There's just really no angle for Zwan Zaddies to fight this. You know they don't want to give this up. It's number 3, but I don't think they have a choice, and Yordle Yasqueens claims it. They're just trying to push them out so they can take mid turret. The rest of the team, though, starting to descend. It's a 4-on-4 in the mid lane. Ripper finds the initial pick on to Maxie's World, who gets shut down. 2 items, no problem. Now they're to the river bend, moving in. Hemoplay gonna come down. Jules will take down the support. It's a 3v3. Taylor in the back line putting out damage. Will headshot for the kill. Now, can you run away, Lily? You have too much speed. Merc Shreds, is it going to save you? Not this time. And they score some return kills and a mid tower here, bringing all 5.
Vlad's doing great damage during the fight, just constantly getting off their cues.
Now, Chabber and Taylor have made the decision to start this Voracious. I almost feel like I need to be quiet, though, because Yordle Yasqueens shouldn't know about this, but they do have to get off of it. It's a very strong objective, difficult to solo early or 2-man early.
It is. You need a lot of damage and you need the right champ depending on what type of Atacon. This one is the one where a ranged champ can solo it as long as you stay out of the absorption pool where it absorbs your health and restores health to itself. It's kind of similar to one of the abilities from the bosses from Swarm, if you've played that from earlier last year. But
yeah,
and the other one which drops the flowers definitely is more of a melee champ, as it does the swirly circles on the outside but has no damage onto the inside. But both of these junglers are melee, so they will have to be inside of that absorption pool.
But also, like, can we bring back Swarm? I kind of love that game. I like a
It's
good
definitely a fun.
PvE every now and then.
I really want the TFT Talker's Trial back. I'd always play that every time I'm eating, where it just like take a bite, click a bite, take a bite, click a bite.
I'm getting such a kick out of this top lane, because just when it looks like Figgleton on Shen has decidedly won the trade, Vladimir gets so much HP back that it just completely does not matter. Now, one of the good things about all this trading, though, is it opens the door for Bigleton to enter with Stand United.
Ooh.
Maxi's rolled in the mid lane, though. Gonna get 2 ults to bail him out. They'll turn it around and a shutdown onto Lippenstick. And now they have found a flank. 4 members descending on the 3 caught out members of Swan Zaddies. It is a massacre. Jules leading the charge here, getting that fear down. R5 Ben comes in, teleports from the mid lane, gets a big ultimate off, but it's not enough to turn that fight around. What a great engage by the Yordle Yasqueens. Was there enough damage, though, to stave off Otacon, or are they all just going to move over there and go for it? Surely with 4, they can take this.
Vlad definitely getting very strong. I can see Spirit Visage in their future with 3 AP damage champions and 1 mixed damage champion.
It is doing a lot of damage, though. And look at this, a teleport from Lippenstick. Ben is here as well. A lot of low health members. They're the ones in trouble now. I don't think Lippenstick is going to be able to catch, and Vladimir has just enough damage. Is it going to be enough with the Hemoplague shutdown onto Mel? There's no reflecting that. They've pushed him off Otacon. Are they going to be the ones to start it now?
There's a lot of vision down there, but if you think you can rush it, then might as well try.
There is a teleport available from both Bigleton and Tender Kitty. Going to be coming in here. It's another fight brewing. I don't think this is going to be down in time. There's a lot of strong poke out of the side of Yordle Yasqueens. It's getting low, though. Paranoia used. Jules not in range. Lippenstick goes down. They're having to turn. They make the call to try to finish it. The smite fight, and Jules claims it. They get the fate, or not, I forget the name of it. But they take it. And that means that they have the resurrection. They're back in base. They're on the map already, and they can easily go to Baron. False Life, that's the name that escaped me in the moment.
Where you think you're just about to get back in the game, and then one smite fight to take it all away again. There's a soul pickup.
Yeah, I can't blame Swan Zaddies for going for that kind of a play. If they get that, if they take Otacon, then they have the false life. They can immediately then probably do exactly what Yordle Yasqueens did. Kind of full send on the engage. You have tempo on Baron at that point. It would have definitely been a gold swing back in your favor. But instead, the map is going to be coming alive for Yordle's Yasqueens. They were only 2,000 gold ahead, now already 4. We'll see if this lead continues to billow after that disastrous Otacon fight for Swan Zaddies. Those jungles here, trying to take on R5 Ben. There's just so much HP. The stun coming down for Chabber means that these two are going to have to run away. Mel's running up the river. I don't know if they're going to be here quickly enough. Perhaps we'll have an execute available. And there will be one. Ooh. Can you actually pool that?
Wow.
Ben getting away. Still deathless. Chabber now trying to hold down this top lane, but it just feels like Yordle Yasqueens always seems to have the numbers advantage wherever you look.
Scary Vladimir. Even when your team's down, he's almost at a Rabadon's 3rd item with a almost fully stacked Dark Seal.
This is the way that Ben likes to play. Very farm it up, play to your champion's identity. Fear on Vladimir, that just means you're not going to be as effective early on, but get a few team fights, get to 3 items, try to carry it in the late game. That being said, Yordle Yasqueens does have Kaisa, very strong in the late game. They just have, overall, they scale very, very well into Swan Zaddies. If Zonzadis has a hope, though, they want this game to be drawn out as long as possible. Caitlyn, once Caitlyn gets a lot of items, you just start one-shotting squishies and juggernauts alike with your headshot. So they just need to try to slow down this game as much as possible. The fact that Yordle Yasqueens wasn't able to secure a Baron with that false life probably bodes well here for Zwanzadi's ability to stall. And it was a 4K lead, and that has not ballooned here. So they're doing a good job of kind of pumping the brakes in this game.
Now, no false life, and they didn't go for a Baron. Now I do see a world where you just wait a little bit, and Vladimir can just pop 2 or 3 of the enemy squishies with an ult and a good, well-placed E, and maybe an empowered Q.
Yeah, if you're the Orwell's Yasqueens, though, you do not want to let that happen. I think they want to start kind of moving around this Baron. And the other thing is, they have 4 dragons, which means Elder is up, so it becomes very difficult for Zwanzadis to try and stall when Elder is going to be spawning soon. And here it is, 2v2 in the top lane with reinforcements soon to go. Jules annihilating Lip and Stick on Syndra, falling so quick, which means another numbers advantage, and I feel like this is just a pattern after a teammate has died. Here the big scary Vladimir arrives, but you have no numbers, and now you have no Chabber with the execute coming through for Queen of Despair on Mel. And Spriggan, you said it right. Who let this champion through? It's a 3v5. Taylor trying desperately to just poke here before this Baron comes up. But you have to stay so safe with all the members of Yordle Yasqueens in the area. The Baron seemingly does not do as much damage as Otacon. So they make the call to just give this one up. Baron. Go ahead.
It always feels bad when you're Caitlyn being outranged by their enemy support. I do actually like this LDR buy from Maxi. It slows down your W and your E evolve, but it definitely helps you. It definitely helps you shred through these tanks with the Vladimir with just base armor and Chabber with base, or not base armor, but Merc or Tabbies and Unending Despair.
Yeah, looking at it, actually has managed to evolve 2 of the abilities, so just lacking the ability power, and based on the build, probably not interested in even building any ability power. And I don't blame him. The poke probably not as important as just the ability to quickly get through these 2 tanky frontliners from Zwanzadis. And here you have another 3v2, same place as before. Jules and Maxi's world ready to descend. Taylor's there, but I'm not sure how much counter engage you have. Jules falling a little low, and now Chabber has arrived. Lick and Stick not going to be able to slay Jules. Maxi's world just opening up onto the back line, has come forward with Killer Instinct, but has eaten a lot of CC. But at the end of the day, fighting well and claiming a double kill up to 7. Helping the bot lane here, leading all scores, and Mel claims another one, 9 kills for the support. Well, John, it's Elder time.
You know, Barons and Elder, that's usually happens right before a game. I could definitely, well, there's not very good wave clear on the side of Zonzadis. Oh.
That's it. Vladimir has died. The game can now end. And it looks like Yordle's the Ass Queens with Elder and Baron. It is just a matter of seconds, I feel, before they are cracking open this base. And it was valiantly fought by Swan Zaddies. They tried to stall out, but the early dragons that Jules was able to claim, and just the map presence of this Nocturne being everywhere, have led them to this position here where they're in a commanding lead, taking down the enemy Nexus. Good game, Swan Zaddies, but this one belongs to the Yas Queens.
Ooh.
Killing spree.
Game 1, Yordle Yas Queens. Congratulations.
Definitely a good game from both sides.
Thinking back on that game, some moments that really stick out to me are just all of the early Stand Uniteds from the Figgleton Shen. It just felt like early on, it was always a numbers advantage for Yordle's Yas Queens. They had that global in Shen and the semi-global from Nocturne, and it was really tough for Zwan Zaddies to take any like individual lane wins and actually snowball them into any kills or anything at all. It just seemed like Yordle's Yas Queens was everywhere on the map.
Yeah, and you also have the collapse from Kaisa as well if you get a CC'd in.
Yeah, I mean there was so much extra help support for Maxi's World on that Kaisa, and I mean, gosh, the bot lane of Yordle Yas Queens just completely exploding, getting so many kills for their team, and just being very darn near unkillable throughout. Looks like we'll get to start
Ooh,
soon here. We've got the star here on what team is the star playing for?
the star is on the team of Frisky Freljord. That is a new name in Ruby.
Frisky. Okay, well, Freljord getting frisky here. I gotta say, Topaz, hands down, has, I don't know if you've scrolled down and looked at the Topaz team names, but they, hands down, I don't know who named them, but they have the best team names, in my humble opinion.
Now, I don't want to leak it, but right as Poggle got in charge of Topaz, he was like, I'm gonna give these some better names. And I think the names were previously from um, Chef Zangy, so I won't say anything else. But the new names are definitely hitting.
They are absolutely my favorite. So for those of you watching, you'll have to tune in next week to learn some of the incredible names from our Topaz teams, because they'll be on the stream next week. And all you Topaz players, I would love nothing, John. I love having you on the broadcast, but I would love nothing better than to have a Topaz caster alongside me for that week. But that means that everyone who's signed up has to say that you're going to be there. We can't have any subs. Hopefully everyone's there so that I can have someone alongside me who is knowledgeable, more knowledgeable than I am about Topaz and what's happening in that division.
Definitely. And Topaz is a little above my pay grade. Oh, there we go.
Could you hear that?
I saw it. I'm
Lovely.
looking at chat right now, and I see the star has played fart for 50 bits.
Star. Thank you very much. You are on stream. So thank you so much
Now,
for the 50-bit fart noise. We appreciate it.
any guesses as to what we might see banned next or this game?
I mean, it's probably Ari. I feel like every team that plays against Tender Kitty wants to go with that Ari ban. You know, anytime
I
you
would
I also really liked the Misfortune ban from the last game. If you're looking at Maxie's World kind of match history, you're going to see a whole lot of Misfortune and obviously MF's so strong in the meta right now. It just makes a lot of sense for those bans. But at the same time, do you want to let through Jules' Nocturne, who has I feel like every time Jules Nocturne makes it onto stream, Jules, you absolutely go wild on that Nocturne. I feel like I have nightmares of that Nocturne just seeing it on stream. It's and I haven't even played against it. I just have second-hand Nocturne fright because it is just so strong. So that's definitely something that you can consider banning uh, against Jules. But I mean, also at the same time, Jules has such a big pool. Can you really ban any of these players out?
yeah. And as a red side team, I think you just have to suck it up and ban Mel at this point. Especially after what we saw last game. Because that seems like a obvious first pick type champion now.
Yeah, I mean you have the option of playing at APC, mid, or support. It's going to be really strong in all of those roles. So I agree with you. That's probably the best kind of like pick ban first pick sort of champion that exists right now.
Now let's see what the Stars team has how their last game went. It looks like they had a victory against the team of Ski Freljord, Demasia's Divas, Chef Zengi's team. And so the Star was playing Jin ADC. We had Pinky Soup on Nautilus support, Trina Vega on the Fiora top, and then Zhongdae mid on Anivia, and Mom Goes Boom on the Volibear support or Volibear jungle, not support. But they all did very well. The game looks like it was 13 or 36 kills to 16 deaths. So they did outstanding job. 32-minute win.
Yeah, I'll say that sounds like
And
an
they're
outstanding job. A big win there for him in game one.
So I suppose that means we won't see a Kled or a Gangplank ban, which, you know, even if Blaine was supposed to go ADC, I'd still be afraid of those picks. I could see them rotating a team around in case he wanted to pick them.
And I'm like,
Because those are
this
some.
And this is a team.
Go ahead.
Sorry. This is a team where I feel that they can move around like positions. If the frisky Freljords want to kind of shake it up a little bit, they're fluid like that. So we'll see if the picks change up or if the roles even change up in Champion Select.
Definitely. But that Jin is definitely Blaine's favorite ADC. I've seen. Oh, there it goes. More than enough Blaine going. I don't know, 10 to 20 kills every Jin game he plays.
Mel left open. Is that a first pick here coming out of Yordle Yas Queens?
May just be. Thresh is also left open. I do believe we'd see that from the side of Frisky Freljord.
And another Mel first picked here for Yordle Yas Queens. MF taken away from Maxie's World. MF Leona, one of the
Oh, but there's the
strongest
Leona.
duos you can play right now. And Leona, excellent into a Mel support.
Pull her right to you. or pull you right to her. She has two choices and they're both bad.
Blank Q asks, John, who are we rooting for? The star says you should root for him.
Blank, I assume you'd be rooting for Frisky Freljord as you and Blaine are two peas in a pod.
Annie picked up.
And
I'm very curious if this is Annie mid. I don't know Tender Kitty to play Annie at all. So I have no idea if that is like where their picks are going. If it's Mel or Annie, kind of in the mid lane. Oh, and a Cassiopeia locked in for Frisky Freljord. I feels like they went to Lowlytics and just sorted by win rate and just picked the number one ADC and the number one mid lane here.
like, yeah, number one ADC, number one mid lane, number one Mel's
Mel
counter.
answer, yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. It's all right there.
Now, it looks like they have jungle and top
And a
lanes to
broken
go. Oh,
sandwich.
Tom Kench. Tom Kench feels so strong right now with that insane healing and shielding power just built into his kit. If he gets even slightly ahead, it's almost impossible to kill him without 3 or 4 members. I don't know if you'd know anyone on the other team, Blank.
Not as you mean with Frisky Freljords? Oh, you're talking to Blank, who's on the other team?
Yes. And Blank
Maybe Queen of
is
Despair.
maybe because Blank used to do Fortnite, does Valorant now. I have actually seen them play League a couple times, and wonder if we'll see them in our league at some point. That would be quite fun.
Yes, Blank. Join the league. Just on the drop down window, click Topaz. You'll be right in good company.
Definitely a great way to accelerate your learning. Nice.
They are really continuing the mathematically correct team comp here. Gragas, one of the best and safest kind of blind picks there in the top lane. I'm very curious how Frisky Freljord will round out their mathematically correct draft. I wonder if they have an AI drafting for them. This feels AI to me. It's an AI draft going on for Frisky Freljord.
Oh, there's the York jungle. Shen top.
Yorick jungle, a return of the Shen. So not as still a global, no semi-globals here though, and a very all-in sort of a team with this Samira, but not as many tools to help out the Samira this time around. So Jax, I feel I'm not really sure where that Jax is going. Could be. I feel like Jax and Gragas can be interchangeable. I think I prefer to see it in the jungle here though.
Yeah, I would prefer Gragas into Shen for sure over Jax, as Gragas is a lot better into someone who can block auto attacks, where I feel like almost all of Jax's abilities require him to auto attack to do damage. And Gragas has that really good long range ability to disrupt a Shen ultimate to get to prevent him from going to help his team. Now in the jungle, I'm not sure who I'd favor. I think York is very good at taking objectives, but in the 1v1 might be able to beat Jax, but Jax late game, I just feel like as York, he just kills your maiden and then kills you in the blink of an eye.
I don't know. I also know that Jax is getting some buffs in the next patch, so not to say that he's completely unplayable, but definitely not in like this. Has definitely started out this 2025 season, like Riot season, a little, a little on the weaker side. At least most people would say. So I'm very curious to see how that's going to go. I also have not seen this Jules Yorick. Like, can you give me a sneak preview? Is there a particular cheese or strategy that Yorick can do? Is he just like a solid sleeper jungle pick? Like, tell me about this Yorick jungle.
So York Jungle is almost entirely based around his ultimate and having like the little minions to do the camps with you to just like it's kind of like a Zyra in a sense, but like it can also split push, whereas Zyra is more just jungle. Whereas York at like previously York Jungle at 20 minutes can just solo a Baron. Now, I've not seen how he interacts with Otacon too much, but I imagine if you have four of your little minion things and the maiden, you probably could just solo Otacon as York damage, and the minion um resistances to epic monsters is this seems so high where your your monsters can basically just tank the entirety of Baron. Or at least it was back when Baron spawned at 20 minutes, not 25. But I guess we'll see this game. But I mean, York in the 1v1 as well with Maiden just like beats most junglers in my head if they can't just run away from him. If you just get trapped in that cage, you're kind of just there to get cued on the head by York if he has his Maiden with him. And there are some build paths with York where you could go more bruisery, or you could go lethality to just one shot switchies, or you could even go like I I occasionally would like do a Leandry's York into like a tank top laner if I'm a York top, because that your maiden will just constantly be proccing Leandry's on it, and it's not bad for tanks, even though York already strips through tanks, but it just helps uh give a little more damage spread by type. New Samira skin. So it looks like Annie does go on to Tender Kitty, and all the champions are, well, it's a runback of the Shen and the Mel.
All right, let's see it. Yeah, Shannon Mel. I'm very curious how this Samira is going to function against this Leona. Samira and both neither Samira or or Mel really want to be staring down a Leona. So Pinky Soup
30
will
seconds
have
until minions
kind
spawn.
of run of the bot lane here. I would really like to see them play this out slow, get their Leona to level 2, and then just start exerting a ton of pressure over that forward brush.
A B minus and ARAM with Sona. It sounds pretty good because Sona is very, very easy. So a lot of people do well on her. So like
Minions have
getting
spawned.
S's is hard on champions that a lot of people can play. No. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a good thing because like a lot of people can play Sona, which is why getting like a higher grade on Sona is actually harder than you might think. Oh, it does look like the Gragas is going jungle. Interesting.
So unlike last game, the jungle is really pathing similarly to one another. To top here. So interested in how this Jules York jungle is gonna play out here. Taking a lot of time to get through this first camp. The hunt for level 2 in the bot lane here. No real lead. Maxi's World really looking for it. Goes to Pinky Soup. We'll jump right onto Queen of Despair. Followed up, double up, bounce right back at the star though. So coming out slightly ahead, but the damage did land onto the ADC of Frisky Freljord, so that can be dangerous. Oh, immediately flashing forward as soon as that Blade Whirl was used, but look at this, turns right around onto the star who couldn't quite find the follow-up. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
continuing to find it, but Jules is here. 1 HP, but that doesn't matter. First blood claimed by Pinky Soup. And now gonna walk away. So 1 for 1, but they did lose the ADC, so some creep going there as York coming for the surprise early gank and already claiming a kill for Jules.
You know, you might not think it, but that gank actually, well, it does help him with the kill, but it actually hurts his clear now that he lost all of his little minions fought. It's hard to get those until you have your maiden consistently.
And another pain point here. Oh, last time this was Jules heisting the blue while the enemy is there, but this time it's going to go Mom goes boom. Taking that blue buff away from Jules. So yes, a kill goes on to York, but properly punished here by Frisky Freljord. Pinky Soup already staying active. Coming over. Hex Flash. There's 3 people!
Ooh.
Hello, Tender Kitty! And you have no Merc Treads to get away this time. Annie going down to the triple gank in the mid lane. That's 2 out of 3 kills for Frisky Freljord. 1 more for the feat.
This Leona is so active with engaging, giving them quite a bit of leads.
Has not missed a Zenith Blade, or maybe better called just like the pokey stick with the sausage. Pinky barbecue. The barbecue stick from Pinky Soup, finding its mark every time.
Yes, and Cleanse still down for about a minute or minute and a half for Maxi. But definitely want to be careful, especially with how this Leona's been playing.
Unfortunately, sitting on a ward, so trying to exert some pressure. They know about this Leona. Let's see if Jules doesn't have many options here. Can go for that camp or can try to come straight away for another gank. See what the decision is going to be. Star on him after doing a great job. They just lost that ward in the river, and it looks like they want to be aggressive. Leona channeling to go in. It's going to be a quick 2v3 though. Jules here behind him. Gragas close by. We'll see if Boom peels off. They're surrounded. How much time can Pinky Soup fly? Zenith Blade going to the far line. Maxi's World starting to get a little bit low, but it's not enough. Pinky Soup gonna walk away. Mom goes boom. Also now forced to drop the dragon. Jules will face check him. Gragas will find him. There's a little bit of damage. Pinky, Zenith Blade, the sausage finds its mark yet again, but this time Stand United was ready. Can Boom find it anyway? The answer is yes. Feats of Warfare claimed for the Frisky Freljord. Just not a moment too soon. And probably, and Figgleton's still up here, means that Trina was able to cancel the actual Stand United from going through. That could have been the difference between gaining or losing feats.
Very true. Though they're at no mana, so they definitely want to be careful. They have teleport up, so they can back at any time.
Oh, and Tender Kitty gets all the way behind Pinky Soup. Is it going to be enough to finish? Stu coming forward, flash! And that's going to do it with that stun from Incinerate. But Jongdae follows. 1 kill onto Maxi's World, 2 kills here And hopefully that channel completes. Oh,
You know,
just
I've
not
played with
quite stopped there. So 2 kills claimed. You've played what?
Strong Day in Arena while they were Cassiopeia and I was Timo, and they definitely hard carried me. So a Strong Day with a gold lead is definitely scary, especially with how strong Cassiopeia is right now. And it looked, if they get feats, that Cassiopeia is going to be slithering extremely fast.
So wait, what is the thing if so obviously famously Cassiopeia can't purchase boots. So is there a consolation prize for the Snake Queen?
Yes, Cassiopeia gains. I think it's now they nerfed it, so it's now like 1 or 2 movement speed, where it was like twice that per level, in addition to what she already gains
Oh
with her
wow.
passive. So yeah, she gets really fast.
Does it like rename her passive? I'll have to see.
Yeah, I've not played Cassiopeia myself, as I think I would hurt my wrist pressing E that much.
So we'll see if it turns into triumphant Serpentine's Grace.
That would definitely be funny.
What is not going to be funny though is your Yasqueen's just giving away this first round of buffs to Frisky Froro. Now they did this in the last game where they just kind of seeded the Void Grubs and it didn't end up mattering because they were so aggressive on the opposite side. So I'll be curious if Jules looks to do something over there. Trina moving down to help. They're bringing up Tender as well though. 2 claimed. All 3 claimed, winning the smite fight here. Trina just gets out, Mom goes boom, soon to go boom themselves, but not before the big cask comes down. They do get 1 kill on the back side of that, and claimed 1 Void Grub in the process, so denying any sort of feat progress there.
Now it looks like Jules will just run down for that dragon. Level 6 power spike for the York in jungle.
Oh, look at this! It's gonna be like a 7-on-5 with multiple pets. Oh, did I hit pause? There we go. Solar Flare comes down, another Zenith Blade lands. But Pinky Soup all alone. Stand United coming through means that there's once again a numbers advantage here for the Yordle Yasqueens. And they're not done yet. They're trying to run down Jongdae. There's a bullet time I sense trying to come through from the start, but they do know about this and it starts, and it gets immediately reflected! But it doesn't actually do that much damage to the Star, who will strut away from that one.
Smart use of the rebuttals from Mel, knowing that that was about to happen. Positioning well.
Pinky Soup, if you're in range, Zenith Blade is going to go on you, and you are very likely to die. Continuing the trend, Jules trying to live. Star will claim it though. Mom goes boom. You have an ultimate available.
Oh!
Rebuttal used. Just knocking away that first of the cast. So still has explosive cast if needed here.
This is definitely a lot more of an even bot lane at this point in the game than in the last game, where they had a big lead on both the Mel and the Kai'Sa.
And look at the item completions coming through for both teams, but 3 right away for the Frisky Freljord. It's double Rod of Ages and a Bloodthirster, which I sort of love because you've got the 2 Rod of Ages to just sit and scale. We don't need to do anything. And then you have a Bloodthirster that is just going to allow you to plant yourself in lane and never have to leave. So huge map control here for Frisky Freljord.
I do love a Bloodthirster into something like a Mel, where you just constantly are getting poked.
Oh my goodness. Riot. Okay, we have a freeze frame here at 11:30. Cross my fingers. It froze a second ago, like a minute ago, but it came back on. Now I'm not as lucky here. Oh my goodness, what do I do?
This does seem to be a problem with
Here, let's...
right client.
Oh, we're just 11:30. You said it's there's a problem or no?
No, well, I mean in general with like Riot Games clients always having bugs.
No, we want more than 11 minutes. And so if you're watching, uh, we didn't pay for our subscription to be able to watch more than 11 minutes and 30 seconds of this game. So I'm trying to get it, I'm trying to get us fixed at the moment. Oh my goodness, John. All right, I'm going to pause the stream and come back in 1 minute. I will say goodbye briefly, everyone watching. I will not close the stream, so please keep us on. I'll be back hopefully in the next few minutes to try and correct this. Thank you, Data. I will be trying something similar to that. We will be back soon. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, audience, and we're back. Hopefully, no, we got past 11:30. We'll pick up right in the action here as they are trying to claim Figleton. And they shut down that pesky Shen who's been all over. So what happened while we were gone? It looks like Void Grubs were picked up by the frisky Freljord. So 5 Void Grubs to 1 over the course of the few minutes we were not spectating. And look at that, 4 kills for Jongdae, and a lot of action here in the bot lane. Cleanse coming out for Maxi's World, who has now finished a Collector.
Pinky Soup saying you will not have a Samira moment right now. Oh, there goes the feats by Trina Vega in the top lane.
Oh, that was the feats claimed. So Frisky Freljord with those first 3 kills and the tower. Blue team, Royal Yas Queen's punching
Dragon.
right back though with a second dragon.
Ooh, but it hurts that it's Chemtech sold when you're behind like this.
But man, if you can get your opponents to below 50% HP, you got a Samira with the execute, you got the Mel with the execute. Can be a lot of money quick here.
This, well, I suppose we'll see the true scary Fed Cassiopeia with feats.
Oh yes, with the triumphant Serpentine's Grace!
Oh.
I was...
That's so funny.
I honestly did not know that was a thing. I didn't even know the name of the passive until I hovered it, but it actually is Triumphant Serpentine's Grace, so... There's some extra movement speed on this Jongdae trying to immediately run down Tender Kitty. But instead Tender Kitty will retreat to the comfort of the river. And the whole team here, Trina face-checking all 3 members. Probably didn't want to see Figleton there. Jongdae and Star now arriving as well. Does have a bullet time available. Mom goes, they're bringing all 5 members for this Rift Herald. looks like they have successfully pushed out the Yas Queens from this. And now, what will they do with this Herald as they've given up the bot side, but did manage to claim the Herald for themselves? They're probably going to see it mid lane real soon here.
It seems as if this York has gone into lethality with that Axiom Arc. Is that what it's called? Axiom Arc? Now I'm getting it mixed up with Axiom Arcanus. Yeah, Axiom Arc. But now that it's changed, you definitely need to go more into lethality, otherwise it's going to not be as useful with its lethality scaling on the cooldown reduction.
One thing you're seeing here is the just vision game from Frisky Freljord has been very strong so far. Last time, Yordle's Yasqueens was finding a lot of picks in the mid game, but this time it's Frisky Freljord that has the vision, and it's really been a large part here is thanks to Pinky Soup making sure that no wards stick onto the map, allowing them to do whatever they want here in the mid game.
Now, the members of Frisky Freljord are pretty fed, but the gold lead's only around 2k right now, so definitely nowhere near out of their control. Even if they can pick up the soul, that would definitely help with Samira, as she does benefit a lot from lifesteal healing. Oh.
And that is a combination you're not gonna live from. It just does not happen. Even if you're Mel, you don't survive that. The good old solar eclipse or solar eclipse flare, solar flare, bullet time combo.
This Jax is looks like he's indexing more into a tanky Bruce Rage build with I believe this is going to be a Fimbulwinter soon. With that giant spell in the inventory and a tier.
And so I love that the patience from Frisky Freljord to not use Rift Herald on the outer, instead saving it for an inner, and then getting a hit all the way onto a Nexus turret and out. Meanwhile, Maxie's World did take down Trina Vega in the 1v1 in the bot lane, but losing mid turret for it, and that's the power of just putting your ADC there in that mid lane. You can quickly take something. Great flash by the star to get away from Shen's taunt there. Pinky Soup, though, having to flash away from the taunt as well. Jules now here as this lethality Yorick. Stand United coming down. But everyone managing to just disengage. And it's Trina teleporting into the back line who ends up finding a kill. So it's still 4v4. There is no Snake Lady there, though. Jongdae now arriving, and I think the fight just got impossible for the Yas Queens. They know it. They're pulling off. Trina going in 1v3, though. Somehow not paying for that with their lives immediately. In fact, turning around and gonna kill Tender Kitty. Just says, I do not care. And just leap strikes into the back line, which will allow Maxie's World to get that Inferno trigger. And now Jongdae flashing forward. That's a lot of movement speed on this Snake. And the Twin Fangs keep landing. Flash coming out from Samira.
Ryla's with this triumphant Serpentine's Grace, you won't get away without a flash, will you? Or a dash.
I think that's what the tooltip of Triumphant's Serpentine Grace says. You're just not going to get away without a flash. Otacon started up. And they have no, well, I think they may have seen Star auto attacking it, but there's not any pings. Yodel Yasqueens, they don't know about this, or they're choosing to give it up.
They see a very low health Pinky Soup at the top collecting some flowers.
Yeah, I think they probably know, but there's not really anything you get to trade for at this point. Like, Baron's not up, and so it's just going to be a voracious Atacon claimed, which means, once again, that false life there for the... But this time it's not Yasqueen's with it, it's going to be the Frisky Freljord. And the way that Pinky Soup has played on this Leona, and the way that Trina has played on this Jax, I feel like False Life is the perfect buff for them. Trina will go down?
Ooh!
No, getting away, preserving False Life for a moment. I'm very confident, though, that will get used up by Pinky Soup and by Trina. They like to go in.
Yes, there's only forward, no going back. Now, it definitely looks like with the mid towers gone, Frisky Freljord should have a lot better map control, able to push in this mid wave pretty far and get vision on both sides of the jungle. So you always have to be worried about looking and controlling the top side of your jungle for an eventual early Baron.
I love how the Maiden is just casually jungling on behalf of Jules here. Doesn't even need to be present. The siege is on.
TP going top lane.
And it
Stop this.
I'm interested in how they're dividing here with this False Life. They're kind of moving around as a... I guess they can play really aggressive in kind of a 1-3-1, knowing that even if they get picked off, someone can be back on the map relatively quickly.
They have
Looks like
Trina completely surrounded up top.
But Trina wants to run away. Domge showing they know they have numbers, but False Life is available. They're going to go ahead and send it. They have the buff available to them, and they're going to try and claim some kills. Golden Eclipse comes down, getting at least one execute. Domge now arriving with that teleport. The False Life's getting used up, but Domge eating up everyone with that Twin Fang. And immediately they get to TP right back in. So Trina getting slain, now here to push the turret, having it demolish. And the value of those little grubs means they get a push in for an inhibitor at 24 minutes.
Funny seeing these golden caskets coming out from the reflected Gragas hues. Now we can definitely, we're looking for bot tier 2, good gold. Definitely no longer 2k gold. It's completely exploded into a 6k gold lead.
That was by far my favorite use of the False Life buff that I've seen on stream so far. I love how they spread out and just kind of dared the enemy team. It's like, hey, we're in a 1-3-1. We're going to be vulnerable to you trying to catch someone out. It's just going to happen. And they collapsed, and then all of Frisky Freljord just came to a fight that kind of looked doomed, but they ended up winning it regardless. What a great flash by Star! Stymieing the engage from Luigi's Kitty, and that turns everything around. Maxi's World, though, trying to go off with that Inferno trigger, looking for a reset, but Pinky Soup is there to say no with that Shield of Daybreak, and that means that it is another one-team fight for Frisky Freljord, who now have the Baron to try to claim as a prize.
All this time, it looks like a Maiden's been pushing top lane, but it doesn't seem like that's giving them too much right now. They can just take Baron and go after the Maiden. And it'll be pretty easy to repush with repush this top lane once they have Baron secured. We'll be trading for Dragon though. Putting them on Soul Point. If they can get it down, he comes out.
arriving. Can they get out of there in time? I think so. So they do get up to 3 dragons, but with how Frisky Freljord has played this out so far, it certainly seems like they could be ending it soon.
And even if you do get slow, the scary thing is you make Elder Dragon come up next, meaning if the enemy team gets that with a lead, the game's almost impossible to come back after that. Looks like there's pretty good vision set up in the top jungle from what I'd assume would be Pinky Soup. Ooh, close. It's like no rebuttal must have been available.
The Frisky Freljord just is all over this. Oh, here we go. El Clasico. Zenith Blade goes in. Luigi's Kitty goes out. And that
right
is
into
it.
John Deere.
No Sand United can bail you out. Trina, though, will go down in the top side. So 1 for 1 so far, but another inhibitor will fall. The Star played so aggressive on this misfortune. But he's on the wrong side of the fight. I fear for your life as he goes down. 3 members of Frisky Freljord have Baron. They're sieging up. Don't know if they can end it right now in this push, but Jongdae has other words. Green of Despair standing in between themselves and the carry. They are still pushing for this. They're trying to right-click the Nexus. All the minions are on the Nexus. Jongdae goes on a spree. Jongdae is 8-0, has not died, picks up a double. The team is just winning 3v4 with all these supers, and they end up closing it out in under 30 minutes. Congratulations, Frisky Freljord.
What a great game by the team of Frisky Freljords. The MF Leona combo into the Mel. It seems like they were just ready for that pick.
So,
We follow winners.
we're following the winners of Ruby tonight. I know it was 2 teams that both won their first game. That means that we'll try and move on to game number 3 here if we can get an invite. If we can get an invite to the Frisky Freljordians game number 3. Thinking back on that game, I think my favorite moment was right after Otacon when Frisky Freljord just had everything kind of going right for them. The Yorliaskins were trying to surround and pick them off, or maybe just not fight them while they had false life, but Frisky Freljord had TPs available. They just kind of full scented into the mid lane and came out way ahead there.
Yeah, it definitely helped with that early Rift Herald into the mid turrets to get that mid so pushed in.
There we go, and we are in. Oh, and they're making a return here. We get to play. I see. All
They're
right.
looking for redemption, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna start the way we ended here with a return. The stream of the fart noise. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Blaine. Always appreciated. So in game number 3, we get a shot at redemption here for who was it again? They were the Zwans Zaddies. And let's see how they did in game number 2. If it'll load. It
Definitely looks like
looks.
their game number 2 looks a little rough, but they took the Mel this time.
Oh, they did take the Mel away here. So they
Pretty
did.
low kill game on both sides. Neither team hitting 20 kills.
All right. So they're running up against a very strong team though here. The Frisky Freljord, they looked so good in that last game. I'm curious how Zwan Zaddies is going to try and answer.
Now, if I'm Frisky Freljord, I'd say,
be understood.
oh,
Eventually.
there's the client bug. I love it.
Do you see all that? The party.
I do.
I just don't click anything. We see some RP.
Yeah,
We're good to go.
I've tried clicking in the past, and I don't think it did anything, but it's definitely annoying, especially when it happens in champ select in like a ranked game.
Oh, and it's gonna hide our bans. Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, some ban after Mordekaiser.
I do believe, actually, I saw it was Thresh. A Thresh ban for Pinky Soup, as he's a millionaire Thresh player.
A millionaire Thresh player for Pinky Soup.
Which is why
Soup
we
will
see
take
him
it.
on champions like Leona. Great at engaging.
God, and then that last game, Pinky Soup just all over the map. Such a strong vision score. The early level 2, just hex
Ooh,
flashing over the mid lane. That was huge.
a Corki this time. Now, that could go mid, but I do believe it would probably be going bot lane.
And the way that the Star played that MF last game, I would not be surprised to see this to be Corki in the bot lane. Corki, a very strong champion right now, can just annihilate people in that, like in the bot lane. You just can't leave your ADC alone. That's the thing, especially with how Pinky Soup likes to play with roaming. It puts your own ADC in a really awkward position because if their support roams, there's really no ADC that's going to win the 1v1 against Corki if they're on even footing. And so Corki just really starts to be able to bully that lane out. So I like this pick here, especially if Pinky Soup is going to continue that hard roaming style that they went for last time.
Now, the team of Zonzadites is running back 2 of their previous picks in the Mel and the Vi, so looking to try that again. Maybe they said it's good, it just didn't work. Maybe they made it an error or two, but the actual comp itself is strong. But definitely Vi gives good setup for mages to be able to hit skill shots. So we'll see if they can change CC with the Vi Mel E combo. Because Mel can bring out a lot of damage onto CC targets, and as well as layer the CC on top of it. Poppy, though, very good pick into Pantheon Vi. And Poppy is another champion that is very meta, but it looks like it's going either top or jungle, as Rakan's already picked.
I'd rather be home anyway.
And Swan Zaddy's first ban in round 2 was a Cassiopeia. I know the client bug is blocking that. I think we'll be able to see a sliver of the second ban up there after it pops up on screen.
Like a Loldle. You'll see tiny bit of the champion profile.
Yeah. Who could it be? Name that
Ooh.
League of Legends champion. They've got flaming red hair.
Someone we've actually seen in the most recent trailer. Or not trailer, but
No, yeah,
It
the
kind of is a
season.
trailer.
Yep. Well, it wasn't
Yeah.
called trailer, but I forget now. But yes, it was, and looking really good there on the Katarina. Ooh, another Lilia here. This time I feel like this is not going to be a Lilia mid, however. I would be very surprised if this Lilia ends up anywhere except for the jungle.
Meaning Poppy will almost certainly go top lane, as I do not see Poppy as a mid lane viable champion by most players.
Samira, one of those interesting picks that I feel like I don't see a lot in solo queue. I also feel like I don't see, just in terms of overall champion popularity, Samira is like one of those champs that's disproportionately represented in our CMSA league. We've got a lot of players that like to play Samira, and they'll play Samira on a league night. They'll play, and I've even seen Samira played in the mid lane for CMSA. So 2 out of 3 games, we'll see Samira this evening, and this time it will go in a very nasty here. Samira and I'm assuming Pantheon, but could be something different. Because last time it was, are they switching up their roles a little bit?
Taylor did play Vi jungle last game, so I
Okay.
do believe. And now Chabber does play Pantheon support, and his build is the same as the Pantheon supports I've seen from pro players, where they go into Heartsteel first item, I think. So, which I mean, that item is pretty strong right now. With just stacking pure health is just good as a support.
Now,
Where you just want to have.
Taylor, oh, sorry. Thought you were done.
Oh,
I was just going to
oh,
say
go ahead.
Taylor played Caitlyn in game one for Swan Zaddies. So a role swap here for the Zaddies as their jungle and their ADC have flip flopped positions.
Wait, actually, it's a three-way swap because Dropper or Dripper was Dripper on support. Chabber was jungle.
I do
Taylor was
believe
ADC.
Dripper was on support. I think it was Chabber Jungle, Taylor ADC, Dripper support in game one. So a big role swap from the last time we've seen them. And hey, they've had 2 games. They were close kind of in the early game, and it got away from them. So maybe they switching it up is what they need, especially take up against Frisky Freljord, who has been hot all night at 2-0, looking to try to close it out.
Now, if I'm the team of Frisky Freljord, I very much like my comp into the team of Zonzadis, where you have Poppy and Talia both to deny dashes from the Samira Pantheon Vi going in. You can't block Vi ult, but it still does damage, and I do believe she will come out of her ult stunned if she hit it right before the ult finishes. And decent frontline with Rakan Poppy to great. Rakan into Samir is very good, as the second she goes on top of you with her ult, you just press ult and there's no way to block it. So just cancel it very easily. Same with the W. It's a little more cast time with the W, but still pretty good at canceling Samir ult. So she has a lot of things she needs to worry about being canceled. And Pantheon is one of those roaming supports that'll leave your ADC with an ult, unless you just want to use the ult to get back to lane or hover between 2 lanes, as well
Chabber
as go to dragon. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say Chabber definitely has their work cut out for them as Pinky Soup so active last game. I do think the Pantheon's gonna help kind of try to answer where this Rakan might end up going, because almost certainly the Star and Pinky Soup are gonna have priority in the bot lane.
I definitely favor the scaling of a Rakan over a Pantheon, but a Pantheon early, pretty good early game champion. Samira definitely needs about level 3 to be able to fight effectively, I think. At least for me. But
No, you're absolutely right. Like you want to lean into Samira early. Can't do a whole lot level 1, especially if you're Corky. That Gatling gun, obscene amounts of damage. Samira just cannot trade back. You go all in right away if you have the opportunity to.
now, I wonder if Blaine's here to treat us with the Corky Gatling gun spectator glitch.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
What is that per
Um,
se? I don't know about
so-
this.
I'm not. I think it's on this pack, but where Corky Gatling gun, once he uses it, it stays on, I believe.
It's
For
just the sound effects and all.
yeah, just sound effects, but it's definitely not something that Riot is like too fond of. I'm sure of. Hopefully, will be patched out by next patch, as Corky is seen quite a bit in pro play. So that Gatling gun
Wait,
in the
no.
bot lane.
Wait, are you telling me this is
like-
affecting like official like Riot streams?
Oh yeah, they have to like. I'm pretty sure they have audio engineers like mute it every time it's like starts going.
That's crazy. I love that that's their answer. Instead of getting the programmers to just fix it, just no, well, let's get some audio engineers on it to mute it.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Interestingly enough, we get a leash for Taylor, so either they just know that they can't fight early, or they want to really accelerate their junglers wave clear, or maybe a little bit of both. Because you can see it does still help, as Vi got a healthy jump onto the first camp here. Lilia generally preferring to go for the camps that are a little quicker to kill. And I want it level 99. Thank you for following.
Quick grand entrance and then back out from Pinky Soup there.
I will say, I rarely see Ben play Scion, so I'm very curious to see how this top lane matchup goes. Definitely not. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, definitely been seeing more Scion with players like the Baus being more in the spotlight after the joining a pretty spotlighted team. So I've seen a lot more Scion lately.
This cursed automatic spectate directed camera takes us away as Scion falls. So first blood claimed by Trina, who started last game a little slow, but my goodness, became just an unkillable death god on that Jax by the end of it. So already starting out with 1 kill, and they are 1 to 3 here, or 1 out of 3 when it comes to getting that feat claimed.
I'm surprised we don't see the Vayne coming out from Trina, given that Vayne is in the name, and into a Scion. I feel like it would be an appropriate pick. Maybe they didn't know.
Taylor has managed to sneak their way here. Pinky Soup, the star. They don't know about this! And this is a Samira that just has to go right in. So much AoE damage coming through. 2 kills claimed. Great lane gank by Taylor on Vi.
And you love those kills on both of your laners. It's definitely going to help them in this lane to start just getting a lead and pushing it forward. Especially on a champion like Pantheon, who you really need to be strong early to be useful at all late.
Now, one thing about that though, Mom Goes Boom immediately going to dive into the topside jungle of Taylor and take away some camps. And so, a big CS lead here for Mom Goes Boom. If almost clearing 3 quadrants, and Ben is low again and getting pushed in. The poke from Mom Goes Boom lands. Ben trying to juke it out. Instead, will take the stun. Flashing away. Taylor's here. Ben trying to bait in Trina.
Ooh,
Does enough to force the flash. And now turning back on. The tower's here. The Scion passive has been procced. Mom Goes Boom also getting away. They're not going to find any kills. Taylor here on Trina. Poppy, can you get out? You still have what you need to deny Vi from getting anything. Trina is not running. Instead, just practically taunting Taylor back to the turret. Lippenstick coming through. And now Tina will walk out of that. What a play by this Poppy. So both the neutrals now up. I'm very curious with this serrated Dirk. Will Dripper and Chabber try to like find something quick? Got a 2-level lead for this bot lane.
Oh, it does look like Chabber is going into the Umbral Glaive build rather than a early Heartsteel. Which I guess that you definitely want to think about that, because you don't want to be building Heartsteel too much into Lilia.
And I mean, Umbral Glaive is such a huge advantage when it comes to clearing out the jungle. Speaking of clearing out the junglers are meeting here. Do either of them actually want to go for this scuttle? Both of them walk away, but just kind of hovering outside of one another's vision while they wait for support from their laners, respectively. Are we going to see a massive 4v4 here over scuttle? It looks like we will. They're here.
Poppy down here.
So all 5 members of Frisky Freljord coming down here for a scuttle and for a dragon. If they're not going to bring Scion, they need to be very careful with how they approach this. It is a 4v5. They're just trying to poke away, but they don't have a ton of poke. It's mostly coming from this Mel. Dragon's getting low. As it's Trina, though, they make the call to go, but instead getting stymied by the heroic charge, and Rakan gets to come in and start the fight. Trina low in the back of the pit. There's no one that can clean him up, though. Dripper running away on the other side of the fight. Pinky, Soup pushing back Lippenstick, and Chabber Star. Gatling gun glitch is activated. Nothing gonna happen. So all told, a 1-team fight and an objective for Frisky Freljord. And they claim boots with that as well, or they claimed 3 of the first kills for boots. So the first one claimed for Frisky Freljord.
Now, on the other hand, you did just give 2 plates over to Scion, who loves taking early plates. One component and about 400 gold away from that Heartsteel that Scion definitely does enjoy, as it now, with the new season, it does scale off your own champion health rather than just item health. So Scion can definitely make more use of it now than he could before.
Oh, you cannot repel that. Or not repel. I keep wanting to call it repel. Rebuttal that. And that means that Frisky Freljord is going to look for the second of 3 objectives, and Juan Zaddies is going to let this one go again without a fight, as Ben just goes to farm up on this Scion, and John Gay returns to push in the mid. The Star, though, left alone for a little bit too long. Pinky Soup is now here as Dripper and Chabber make the right call. They immediately notice ADC is left alone. We gotta dive. We're an aggressive team, and they take, or aggressive duo, so they take that kill. Jangge scoring a solo kill onto this Mel in the meantime as the siege to this bot tower continues. So even though the objectives are going the way of Frisky Freljords, the pressure and the farm is kind of following the way of Zwan Zaddies here. Changing topics a little, this 100 I see redeeming tickets. So we have a monthly giveaway, so if you've got some tickets in the chat, you can redeem them. I have no idea how, but I know that can be done. So if you're watching and have some, go ahead and do it.
Under the chat box, it'll say, like, it'll have a little icon of a bag of money, and that's how many coins you have. I have quite a few from watching pretty much every type of stream from this from CMSA.
Yeah, 2v2 in the mid. You also have a Pantheon who's able to come in there with that Grand Starfall. Trina punting away too with the Keeper's Verdict, and now it's Jabber all alone. Thought there was going to be numbers. It is still an even fight though, 3v3s as Whip and Sick has come up here. But rebuttal, not going to be enough to turn the tides of this one as Jangge is going to fall. Mom goes boon on this Lilia, putting out so much damage. Sorry, not going to fall. Jangge putting down just a lot of rocks on this Talia. They're just winning fights all over the map here. 8-3, Ben leaning in on Trina. Are you going to be able to find a kill? There's not a lot of mana, and Trina again taking down R5. Ben can't use that passive to close the distance. And will fall for the third time.
Gold lead sitting at about 2.5k, so it's definitely looking like a pretty happy lead. Are very close.
Pinky and Pinky Soup just barely getting out of that one alive. It does mean though that more pressure onto this tower is going to be applied by Jabber and Dripper, who, I mean, they are the shining stars right now of their team. They have all the kills, and the Star and Pinky Soup really cannot stand up to them. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Frisky Freljord commit a big gank to the bot lane with Dragon coming up soon, and especially with them kind of overextending. They're already probably dead here, as you have Talia walling them off with that Weaver's Wall. It's a 2v4. Goodbye, bot lane of Zwan Zaddies. That is a clean 2 kills, as well as the Dragon. Trina gets another kill onto Ben. And Frisky Freljord, they are just exploding all over this map.
Another dragon picked up. It looks like that'll be the... That's the feet picked up, right? Yeah.
It is. That was Feats there. You're right, that was the third one. They also had the Void Grubs from earlier. Taylor just unable to find anything. Ben so badly wants to shut down onto Trina, trying to run away. There's 5 kills, and I think it's gonna go down. Vi arriving, cease and desist, Trina!
Oh!
Keeper's Verdict comes down. You're still alive with under 100 HP. No shutdown to Zwan Zaddies.
That's definitely got a sting. The ult and flash used for that attempted kill onto the Poppy, but just one ult to completely stop the whole fight.
And then it's kind of like you maybe just stick around here, because the rest of the team wants you dead for a 5th time. But that turret is pretty low. That's what Scion wants at this point. Grubs now started up for Frisky Freljord. I don't know that Zwan Zaddies can do anything about this, but they want to try. do have good poke out of Lipstick. They have temporary numbers here in the pit if they want to commit to it. Dripper is on Samira, trying to stack up that passive. Can you get a big Inferno trigger? There's just not a whole lot of HP. Does get it up, but it just is not allowed to stand. 2 for 2 right now, but the wallet of Frisky Freljords means they're going to take it. Good focus on Frisky Freljord to make sure that Chabber could not get anything going on that Samira.
Poppy is so tanky now with that insane gold injection from all the kills.
And they're gonna dive then yet again. Passive comes out, and nothing for this passive to claim.
Mid tower down 2. With the grubs picked up, that would definitely help into a side that just keeps wanting to push. Being able to take down those towers and then shove waves up to the enemy tier 2s, tier 3s. Looks like they put Mel top and now Signs running to the bot side.
So Ben
And definitely has.
yeah, I was gonna say Ben going to a side lane. I feel like it's just you want to play keep away. You're too far down to really fight over objectives. So if you just put your member on the opposite side of the map from said objective to just try to take as much as you can while they kind of try to dance around this. So if you are Swan Zaddies, do not definitely approach with caution.
I was being a little cautious running into that jungle. With a bunch of the members fogged right now.
Ben taking on Jongdae. Talia does have a lot of self-heal, but losing a little bit of a trade there. They're bringing the whole house here in the bot lane for Jongdae. Flashing forward, getting the shutdown. So giving up the top side of the map. They actually haven't even started Rift Herald after all that. Instead, they just kind of backpedaled to try and fill. And overall, this has been a winning sequence for Swan Zaddies, who claimed mid turret, who claimed a shutdown. The whole team is here. They have numbers. Soup has to be very careful using that charm to try to get away. Star will kill one. Valkyrie not available. Oh, but Gatling got to pick up a second. They're going to come out ahead of this.
There's that reliable recon CC onto the Samira to shut down the lane.
And flashing, knock up. You may want to stay and fight, try to get something in that passive, but there's just no one you can do. Too much, just no one to attack. Too much CC. And unfortunately, right as Dragon spawns means this third dragon is going to be really difficult for Swan Zaddies to fight over. Oh, they're already pincered in from the dragon. They don't even have vision anymore. Dripper using that Inferno trigger, but no one's around. And third dragon finally picked up for Frisky Freljord. Ben, though, teleports behind the four of them. They do have numbers here. The rest of the team descending. Ben is going to be able to use that passive to put out a little more damage after going down, but Trina is just too big. Heroically going in. Doesn't even need to charge away. Ooh. But there's a big Inferno trigger. We've been waiting for that one. Dripper coming out with a pair of kills.
That huge shutdown on the Poppy goes into the player that you definitely wanted on Samira. And Samira's definitely going to need a lot of items to be able to keep continuously doing damage to this Poppy, who's just building more and more armor. Now a good amount of HP and shield into with that symbol into that. Every champion now seems to be building. You can see it on champions like Jace, where he's even getting nerfed to compensate for it.
It's not a fun game to play Samira, though. I mean, you got, like, you already pointed out the Rakan's ability to kind of instantly stop what's going on out of this Samira. Oh, it's, as I'll hold that thought, it's Chabber looking at the star. Valkyrie's not available. Instead, the rest of the team trying to arrive and help with Weaver's Wall, but it's too little, too late. They actually pick up a pair of kills now before their Pinky Soup arrives to help turn this back around. It's only 1 for 2 though. Again, Swanzaddy's coming out ahead. Now they'll finally level it up with the help of Trina, who is 12-1 and impossible to kill. But they lose a turret, so Swanzaddy's making things happen, even down a significant amount of gold.
But actually, the gold lead was about 4K. Now it's down to 1.5K, so they've definitely done a good job at bringing it back. That idea that no game is ever completely lost if you just keep playing your game, just do what you can.
And with the shutdowns, it's so hard in a game like this. Like, you look and it feels bad. You're like, we're down 13-25. We haven't won. We're not winning team fights, but it honestly feels worse than it really is. You only have a couple thousand gold. Now, granted, so much of that is on this Poppy, who you just can't fight around. But if you can find a fight with Poppy in a side lane, you have a very clear, realistic shot at winning it. But meanwhile, the bounce house is happening, and the two tankiest members of Swanzaddy's are just pummeling, getting pummeled by Frisky Freljords. Everyone is now in. Pinky Soup goes down. A double kill claim for Scion, who's just wailing away at the back line, now trying to get out of there. Realizes they can't, so Ben will move into the star. But all told, I thought that was going to be much worse. But again, Swanzaddy's managed to come away relatively even after a fight like that. However, this time they do not have a turret to try to push down. Instead, it's Frisky Freljords on the Otacon. And which Otacon is this?
This is the one that gets flowers. Because when they do the big spinny thing that comes back into itself, that's how you know it's flowers.
Alright, so Ruinous, flowers, got it. So they will claim right click. My favorite champion against the flowers is Urgot. He just gets to immediately take every single flower when Ruinous spawns.
I need to see that because that sounds very fun.
Just every leg simultaneously popping off.
That fight that they the fight that they went relatively even on, Swanzaddy's didn't even have their most fed members, so maybe if they group up for the next fight with their Samir with them, they might be able to do a lot of damage.
Yeah,
they just need to bait out the CC to let the Samir go in.
Yeah, Samir has to be very patient. Not only Pinky Soup's Rakan, but you also have to be so mindful of Zhongdae and the soil that they're putting down. But here's that fight they're looking for. Pay attention to Dripper in the backline. Charging up a C rank now. 2 members though have already fallen, and only on an S rank. Drowsy hits, you're asleep, and now you finally get to go in, but you're the only one still alive. No ultimate even claimed by the Samira. All 5 members down. 3 kills for Lilia. Only 1 kill found for Swanzaddy's.
That Lilia is definitely going to be a big problem for this Scion with just a ton of health. But the double burn, the double health burn especially, is just so hard to play into. Especially with the lifesteal you get from all the burn damage, and Rift Maker too. Two Herald charges.
Oh, we're gonna use the second one to get out. No, instead it'll slam into the brush. Directed camera, why are we doing this? Trina trying to get away. Soup is here, but Chabber comes over the wall. I think Soup may be out of tools, but just running away is a fine tool as well. And Changde is here. They're going to target Trina charging in. 1v4. Pinky re-engaging there. The knockup lands to Chabber. Becomes invincible, but as soon as it drops, will fall. The whole team is just had too much pursuit, and once again, it's Frisky Freljord coming out on top. All 5 members claiming the kill, and Scion is in his side lane, but at this point, you kind of got to come back.
Definitely seems to be dedicated to taking the top turret. Looks like they're not taking the bait, and they're just going to continue on their march towards the next.
And yeah, it looks like Ben maybe didn't quite think they'd actually go for it, but instead, that's going to be Frisky Freljord jumping out quick. Swanzaddy's hung around for a long time in that game, but eventually the 17 kills of Trina just became insurmountable. And when I think of that game, it's hard not to think of Trina and the Poppy play they had. Especially I feel like the biggest moment of that was Trina was on 5 kills, had a big shutdown available, and was underneath Ben's turret, Swanzaddy's turret, and they brought Taylor on Vi up. Vi burns the flash. Vi burns the cease and desist and could not take down Trina. Trina instead just punting 2 people away, living with less than 100 HP, and it just felt like, okay, this is the way this game will go. And that was it, 5-0, and look at the ending score, 17-1.
Yeah, great ults from the Poppy every single time, knocking members away or just using it as a knockup. Great play by them. Good team fights by the later stage after that mid-game not slump, but they were trading even with a team that they're like 4K over, but then they brought it back with those team fights around the bot lane right before Dragon.
Yeah, it really did feel like that if they had been able to find a fight where Chabber could get in there on that Samira, that maybe that Swanzaddy's would be back in the game. But Frisky Freljord did such a good job of playing a clean fight, of holding CC, of just, I mean, you saw the final fight of that, the final big 5v5 of the game, Samira couldn't even get an ulti off because of the way Frisky Freljord were playing it. So really, really well played. A well-deserved 3-0 for week number 5, season 16 of CMSA. Well, that concludes the time. We have got 3 games. John, thank you for joining me. Any last words for those watching?
Sign up if you can make it. Come to C2E2, and if you can volunteer, sign up to volunteer. And if you're a player in this season, don't forget to sign up for the invitationals if you can make it.
Yes, I was gonna say please make sure you sign up for the invitationals, because I think next week the voting for the invitationals goes live. So if you are interested in participating in the just having your name on the ballot, please express your interest, opt into that, so we can have a good group of people to vote on. It's always, the invitationals are always such a fun community night for us, so I'm looking forward to being a part yet again and seeing everybody out there on the Rift as voted on by you.
Definitely.
Okay, that concludes this week. Everyone, thank you so much for watching, for surviving our brief, like 2 minutes of technical difficulty. I'm so glad that didn't stop us from getting to watch some great games tonight. Congratulations to all of our players. Thank you everyone for watching, and as always, be kind to one another. Have a great night.